Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Unwilling to be the government's deadly assassin, gifted psychic Kahara Mitchell went AWOL and ended up buried under rubble in the wake of a great tsunami. She regained consciousness far from Earth on the medical ship of a Daguerrean intergalactic fleet. Has she been rescued or abducted by aliens? The Chalice of Carrie, Kahira O'Donnell's latest paranormal science fiction romance, is the passionate story of an Earth woman and her destined mates, twin kings from another galaxy. Kahara uses her gifts fighting alongside Lords Rom and Ra in a war that will determine the destiny of galaxies. The Chalice of Carrie by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at KahiraO'Donnell.com or at Amazon.com.
The X-Zone Radio Show is heard on radio broadcast affiliates worldwide, including
AM 580 CFRA in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
WPUL AM 1590 in Daytona Beach, Florida.
KOHI AM 1610 in St. Helens, Oregon.
KHRO AM 1150 in El Paso, Texas. And for more information on becoming a professional broadcast affiliate of the X-Zone Radio Show, visit
www.xzbn.net
or call toll-free worldwide
1-800-610-7035.
The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
You doing that thing you do, breaking my heart into a million pieces, like you always do. And you don't mean to be cruel, you never even knew about the heartache I've been going through. Well, I try to forget you, girl, but it's just so hard to do. Every time you do that thing you do.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. The X-Zone is broadcast weekly I should say daily, 7 days a week, here on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, High Definition Radio UK, Euro High Definition Radio, and on Star Cable. Toll-free worldwide, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My first guest tonight, X-Zone Nation, is Marie D. Jones. We're going to be talking to Marie about her new book, The Deja Vu Enigma. Now, a new book by our special guest this hour, Marie D. Jones, and paranormal researcher Larry Flaxman, lays out intriguing new theories about the phenomenon of deja vu, a feeling that all of us have experienced throughout our lives. The Deja Vu Enigma, a journey through the anomalies of mind, memory, and time, explores the eerie yet common sensation of remembering a sensation or an experience that never occurred. The Deja Vu Enigma dives into scientific research as it relates to short-term memory, misfires, neurophysiological disorders, and theories suggesting the paranormal, such as a glimpse into parallel realities. Joining me now is Marie D. Jones. Hey, Marie, welcome back to the X-Zone.
Hi, it's nice to be back.
Why did you decide to write with Larry a book on deja vu?
Oh, my gosh. Well, as you know, we do a lot of paranormal research, and interestingly, deja vu is the most common and widely reported, quote-unquote, paranormal phenomenon that there is. I mean, everybody has had deja vu all over the world. It surpasses class and gender, and it's an experience that everybody can relate to, yet I think we've trivialized it and made it into something that's not important, when in fact it is one of the most widely researched in the scientific community paranormal phenomenon that there is.
What does the scientific community say about deja vu?
The vast majority of the research that's going on, of course, focuses on memory, because it appears that deja vu is a memory glitch.
Yeah.
When you have deja vu, what you're basically having, and this sounds completely impossible, but you're having a memory of an event that's occurring for the first time. So you're having a memory of an event happening in the now, and that's impossible. So their research is focused on two things. One, what part of the brain is associated with stimulating deja vu experiences? And two, is this a memory glitch? Or is it something else?
All right, listen, you and I have to take a commercial break. Please stand by. Marie D. Jones is my special guest. www.mariedjones.com is her website, and we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as the X-Zone continues right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. What if Jesus came back now and insisted that we listen to him? How would the world be different if Christians really followed the Gospels? For 2,000 years, we've been practicing a religion. Now it's finally time to get it right. Read Liberating Jesus, new from Roberta Grimes. Meet the Jesus you never knew. Roberta uses afterlife evidence and biblical analysis to prove that Jesus is exactly right. Learning the lessons that he came to teach is the reason we are born at all. Roberta says he has come back now to insist that we actually listen to him, so we can begin to use his teachings to unite and transform the world. Liberating Jesus on Amazon, October 1st, and then wherever books are sold. Jesus has the answers, and it's not too late. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Call him Reef. Reef is your host. Reef is your guide. Are you happy?
Happiness is like trying to find water in the desert. Can you find any? Sometimes, sure, but only a few drops. God is an ocean of joy, but God is not cheap. You cannot find God in a chemical. You must attract God's attention. How? Not by living to please your senses. That is false ego. The Matrix is not real. It is a computer-enhanced hallucination. You are spirit soul, not the body. We have forgotten how splendid our home really is, the spiritual sky. For more information, visit rishasongofblue.com. That's www.reessongofblue.com.
Fartlets, fartlings, pongies, and honkers. They have so many names, makes you go bonkers. Rear tempest, butt bubbles, bottom burps, all aside. Why does it smell like a little rat died? Hail the fart, whenever, wherever, whoever. Its existence actually enriches our lives because it gives us those unforgettable moments that we can all recall again and again that are always good for yet another laugh. A new expose on farting. Get your copy of The Endearing Fart by Eileen Dover at www.theendearingfart.com.
Very superstitious writings on the wall. Very superstitious letters about to fall.
Exonation Marie D. Jones is our special guest. She is the author, along with Larry Flaxman, of the Deja Vu Enigma, a journey through the anomalies of mind, memory, and time. www.mariedjones.com. All right, Marie, so the scientific explanation seems to be an oxymoron. How can you have memory recall of an event that hasn't happened yet?
Exactly. Well, there's a couple of different theories, one of which has been disproven, and that was that perhaps one eye takes in a perception, like a fraction of a second before the other eye, and therefore you have sort of a double memory reaction. The problem is, though, that they did experiments with people who were blind in one eye, and they were still able to have deja vu. So basically, the scientific community wants to focus on the brain. There's this ongoing debate that's been going on for hundreds of years over whether or not the mind and the brain are the same thing or two separate entities, and whether upon the death of the brain the mind can continue. And this plays into deja vu because if this is a phenomenon of the brain, then we should be able to give it an explanation that has the brain involved. In other words, it's a memory issue. But if it's a phenomenon of the mind, that kind of takes it way out there, and it could be anything.
All right, what are the potential connections between deja vu and, let's say, parallel universes, alternative dimensions, and other realities, then?
This is where it gets interesting. If this is something that is not necessarily just a neural misfire in the brain, and again, involving the mind and maybe consciousness, what deja vu feels like, and I know this has happened to me because I have extended deja vu, and so I'm kind of able to sink into the experience and get a feel for what's happening. Well, what deja vu could be, and this is a theory, this is not scientific fact, is our getting a glimpse of ourselves in a parallel universe doing the exact same thing, wearing the exact same clothing, with the exact same people involved, having the exact same conversation, until at a certain point, something in that other universe changes and breaks off and it ends the experience. And this kind of plays into the many worlds theory of Hugh Everett, the physicist, who said that every time we make a choice, that the choice that we didn't make breaks off into a whole other universe. And, I mean, you can imagine how many universes must be out there if each of us are doing that. And again, this is theory, but the idea is if we do exist in an infinite number of other universes, there's got to be one where we're doing the exact same thing for just a little while.
All right,
and
but
that could be...
It's a nice theory, but is there any evidence to support to substantiate the theory?
No, unfortunately, it's all subjective. In other words, it's people really having these experiences in such an intense fashion that they feel like they are in two places at once. And that's the problem, is that how do you prove? The interesting thing, though, is that parallel universes, that whole theory is starting to be more accepted in the field of quantum and theoretical physics. So this theory is kind of playing on the back of that theory. If that turns out to be true, then we might extrapolate that to other things like déjà vu or lucid dreaming or precognition. All kinds of paranormal things might finally be explained if we can prove there are parallel universes and that we exist in some of them. But right now, it's just another way to look at a phenomenon that science, even with all the research they're doing, they still haven't been able to actually pinpoint what déjà vu is.
All right, with all the suppositions going on about what déjà vu may be, what it may not be, why is déjà vu so important to researchers like yourself?
First of all, we don't understand. For paranormal researchers, we're looking outside at all these different phenomena. The problem is the human mind is probably the greatest mystery that we have. I call it, the inner universe, the last final frontier. Our minds are absolutely amazing and still such a mystery. We don't yet understand fully how memory works. We don't understand how memory is stored in the brain. There appear to be so many different ways that can be happening. Originally, people thought memory was stored in very particular parts of the brain, but when those parts were damaged in certain experiments, people were still able to recall certain information. We've got the holographic brain theory, the idea that memory and information is being projected from somewhere else into the brain, and the brain is acting as a receiver of information rather than a transmitter. So when we wrote the book, we started out with something as simple as déjà vu, but that's only one chapter. We then ended up exploring every mystery of the mind we could think of.
Okay. Are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear
me? You just kind of dropped off there for a second.
Oh, that's weird.
All right. So what other aspects of, let me see, anomalies of the mind, memory, and time do you discuss in your new book, The Déjà Vu Enigma?
Well, we start with déjà vu, and then we get into some of the abnormal things that the mind tends to do. We talk about things like amnesia, fugues, blackouts, altered states of consciousness. And then we get into the power of the human mind, the power of thought, the power of belief, which was my favorite chapter, the idea that what we believe can either kill us or cure us. And then we get into things like dreams. Our dreams, there's so many different theories about what dreams may be. So, and time, how we perceive time as linear when in fact it really is not. And we get into perception. The mind, again, is just such an amazing mystery. And we started with déjà vu as sort of a springboard because, again, that's a common experience that everybody has where they say, oh, wow, what's going on here? There's more to life than meets the eye here.
Is there more to life than meets the eye, or is it wishful thinking that there's more to life and that the paranormal is actually nothing but a figment of our imaginations?
That's an absolute possibility, and a lot of that comes down to perception. the brain perceives only a certain amount of information that comes at it, you could say, and it takes those perceptions and it creates reality.
But doesn't the mind also accept only what the person wants to believe? For example, if I don't believe in the paranormal, then nothing paranormal is likely to happen to me. And yet, if somebody else is totally enveloped in the paranormal, then they will either have real paranormal experiences or their mind will create these paranormal occurrences.
I think that's absolutely true in some cases. But for example, me, I mean, I'm immersed in the paranormal field, but no matter how many times I want to have an experience, I can't force it. So there seems to be something else at play here.
All right, so is that why you write your books? Because you actually cannot have the experience, so you satisfy your quest by writing?
No, well, I've had experiences, but they're few and far between, and they've affected me so deeply that I'm on this quest to figure out, okay, am I doing this? Am I putting this stuff out there? Or is there something exterior happening to me? Or maybe a combination of the two.
Or maybe there is a very simple explanation that it doesn't exist.
There could be, but there could also be the simple explanation that it does exist.
All right,
but
if it does exist, how come everyone in the world doesn't have the experiences?
My thought on that is that, well, like you said, it could be belief. Now, a lot of our beliefs are trapped in our subconscious, so we may think that we believe in something, and yet on a subconscious level, we're blocking out those perceptions and experiences that will allow us to have a paranormal event. But at the same time, my feeling is that there are places where the veil between worlds are thin. And not everybody has the ability to maybe consciously make that cross.
All right, but but what you're doing here is you're making the assumption that there are other worlds.
I think there are.
Based on what?
But scientifically, there's no proof of that.
All right,
personally, I feel like that's a really good, simple explanation for a lot of the stuff that we can't explain. But again, there's no scientific basis for that, except for some of these theories that are coming up through the quantum physics world that have yet to be proven as scientific fact.
Well, isn't quantum physics at this stage just another offshoot theoretical science that actually has no basis in evidence?
I don't think so. I mean, there are an awful lot of theories that have been accepted as scientific fact, and what's really interesting is that you have more and more scientists, quote unquote, writing books that take some of these basic discoveries and extrapolate them into the bigger picture. It's getting very imaginative out there. And what I see happening is the science fiction of yesterday is very slowly becoming the scientific fact of today and tomorrow. So, I mean, I have a very positive outlook, and I like the idea that there are other worlds out there, but I am also perfectly willing to accept that I am creating all of this stuff in my own mind.
Maybe we're just part of a giant holographic play and we're being manipulated by outside sources. Yeah,
that's right. What did Shakespeare say? All the world is a stage.
Exactly.
I'd like to figure out who the director is.
All right, Mary, please stand by. You and I have to take a commercial break with the news at the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back. Exonation Marie D. Jones is our special guest. She has co-authored with Larry Flaxman a new book, The Deja Vu Enigma, a journey through the anomalies of mind, memory, and time. www.mariedjones.com. We'll be back on the other side of this break with the news as the X Zone continues on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and, of course, Star Cable. Don't go away.
Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/XZone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/XZone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio,
Euro High Definition Radio,
and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035.
Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com.
On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com.
And our website,
www.xzoneradiotv.com. Exonation, Mary D. Jones is our special guest, along with Larry Flaxman. She has written a book entitled The Deja Vu Enigma, a journey through the anomalies of mind, memory, and time. Murray, how would we explain that there are some people who see ghosts, there are some people who see UFOs, there are some people who have psychic premonitions, and it seems to me, through the years I've been doing the show and talking to people, as well as researchers, that none of these traits seem to be interchangeable or multiple in different people. Why is it some people see ghosts, they don't see UFOs, other people see UFOs, they don't see ghosts, and other people who see ghosts and UFOs have no psychic ability?
That's a tough one. I mean, it could come down to timing, being in the right place at the right time, but I think it has more to do with our minds, our perception, and where we're at, so to speak, in our consciousness. Mm-hmm. I think people who are interested in ghosts are going to have more of a tendency to have an experience in that arena rather than seeing Bigfoot or something. I do know people that have had crossover experiences, but yeah, you're right. They seem to be few and far between. And again, I think this comes down to the power of perception, the power of belief, and what's going on in our subconscious. Because again, I've had people say to me, I don't believe in this stuff, and yet something happened to me. And I've had people say the exact reverse. I do believe in this stuff, but nothing ever happens. And I would question what's going on in their subconscious.
Is it possible that the person who says, I don't believe in this stuff, but, or let me take the other example, the person who says, I believe in this stuff, but I haven't seen anything, is it possible that that person has the ability to process the information of what they are seeing and understand it to be a normal experience, where the person who has not had the experience and sees something does not have the capability of processing the data that they are witnessing to put it into a realistic occurrence, and they, because parts of the information that they're not processing doesn't make sense to them, they put it in the realm of the paranormal.
Exactly. And that harkens back to the story of the cargo, the little island where they had cargo ships coming in, and they thought that they were gods and that they were magic, the islanders, because they had never seen modern ships before. Yet someone who has would just say, oh, what's a modern ship? And it's all a matter of perception. I remember Michio Kaku, who's a theoretical physicist, said that if we ever saw something come into our three-dimensional world from, say, a fifth or sixth dimension, it would look like magic to us. And yet, on that side, it would be normal. So you're absolutely right. And I also think it's a matter of what information the brain will actually take in. You can have an experience where maybe your brain just says, I'm not going to take that information in and process it. It's not a part of my belief system. So it's all about the brain. It's about information coming into the brain and what is being perceived and then processed.
Here's where I have a problem with a lot of the physicists that are coming out with the multiple dimensional theories, is because if these multiple dimensions really did exist from the beginning of time, how come they're only getting attention now? Something does not make sense here. It's like, all right, we've milked the three dimensions as much as we can. We're going to add some more so we can milk some more stuff out of people and, create a bigger illusion. It makes no sense, because if there are 11 dimensions, like quantum physicists are saying, some are even saying 12, then the interaction between these different dimensions should not have only started now. They should have been continuing from the beginning of time, and it doesn't seem like they have.
Well, to me, I think the exact opposite when I look at creation stories and origin myths, and you look at the Dogon, you look at the Blackfoot. They seem to have their own physics system or their own cosmology, and a lot of it parallels things that we're just now discovering.
Is it their own cosmology or their own belief system? Because there were things that they could see that they couldn't explain, so they created their own cosmology, and it has nothing to do with quantum physics.
Absolutely, but it's just strange how there are common themes that occur, common experiences that perhaps you're right, they didn't have the scientific language to describe it, but it's just really interesting that they've had experiences that we understand as being similar. And my thought is that we're not as smart as we think we are, and it's taking us a long time. I mean, look what we're doing to our planet.
Sure.
It takes us a long time to get to the point where we truly understand the world around us. We still don't know what reality is. We still don't know if we have souls. We still don't know what happens to us after we die. Come on, it's 2010.
The question,
should know this stuff.
The question here is, in all reality, do we need to know these things? Or is this a desire?
It's a desire.
So why don't we?
Life would be so boring.
No, it wouldn't. I disagree with you. There are so many. There are so many people that are hungry. There are so many people that are homeless. There are so many people that are unemployed. Look at the natural disaster that's happening right now.
Right.
And yet you've got all these people who are wondering about, geez, do ghosts really exist? What is time all about? Are there 11 dimensions? Come on, get off the high cloud, get back down to reality, and let's solve the problems on this level first.
You can have a foot in both worlds.
Exactly.
But that drive and that desire is based on a need to feel that there's something more than this, that
But
there's
what
something
happens?
bigger.
But is that really so important? Like, if we are alone, if there is nothing else, all this wondering, all this speculation isn't going to change a damn thing.
I think it's important to the people that are pursuing it for their own personal reasons. I wouldn't judge them on it. And it's interesting because I do know a lot of people in the paranormal field that are very active in charities. And I think one of the reasons why that happens is because when you're trying to understand what happens after you die, you become more aware of the life you're living now. And there's a real interesting kind of parallel going on that I think is great. There's a lot of paranormal groups that are working for charities and trying to get out there and be active in the world.
Oh, come on! They're just doing it. They're just doing it for free publicity. Come on, let's call a spade a spade. What the paranormal wait a sec. What the paranormal community is trying to do is to try and replace religion, and I think the paranormal community needs a rude awakening because they're trying to say religion is wrong. We've got a better idea of what's really going on, and this is what it is.
No, I totally disagree. I think
well, of course you do. You're part of the parallel community. You know, you're part of the paranormal community. Of course you disagree with me.
I'm a very spiritual person. No, I know a lot of people that have very strong religious beliefs that correspond with their interest in the paranormal. And I think you're generalizing. And there are people in the paranormal that just want to be rock stars. That's absolutely true. But there are a lot of people that just have a driving, compelling desire, such as Larry and I, to try to understand some of the unknown enigmas that we sense and experience in our lives. Yet, at the same time, we apply a lot of what we're learning to the lives that we're living. It expands. It opens up the person rather than living a very narrow
Would
life.
you say that your lifestyle is based on the paranormal?
Oh, absolutely not. In fact, I'm a science lover. I mean, I could be happy writing. I'm a writer. I'm not somebody who is out there investigating ghosts. I'm a writer. I've written about volcanoes. I've written about spirituality. I'm, going to be writing books about horse racing and all kinds of things. I love the paranormal because ever since I was a little girl, I had a very, very strong awareness that there was something else going on. But I'm not as immersed in it as other people. That's why when people say, oh, you're a paranormal person, I say, wait. I'm a writer. I've written about a lot of things. But yeah, it's fascinating. And I think it adds to excitement to our lives. And it also builds community.
So it's a place for people to belong. It's a club.
Yeah, well, so is sports,
But it seems that if you can't fit into any other genre in life, you end up in the paranormal. Because they accept all.
I don't know about that. I think you end up in politics.
No, I disagree with you there. Because, I see the paranormal these days. First of all, it's lost its focus.
It has.
It has truly lost its focus.
I do admit that.
And people now use it as well, let's put it this way. The paranormal community is where the CB clubs used to be in the 60s. You've got a bunch of people who have nothing better to do with their time. They join these little groups, and away you go. There's so much animosity between paranormal groups. There's no
drama is rampant, and it's one of the reasons why I love being a writer, because I can take myself out of that. I can stay on the perimeter. I can write about what interests me, and yet I can also write about other things because I am really interested in earthquakes. I'm interested in natural sciences. I'm interested in, what's going on in the world. And
yeah, but Marie, you're the exception to the rule.
Well, maybe, but I don't. I know
some
good people, but yeah, I would say the vast majority. And I have a real hard time saying this because I know that a lot of people don't really want to hear this. But you're right. The vast majority are spinning their wheels.
Yeah.
They're on the bandwagon, and the bandwagon is breaking.
It sure is.
It's probably already broken.
And what it's doing, it's adding a lot of doubt to those people who at one time used to take the paranormal seriously.
It is. That's a bad thing about getting a lot of media attention with all these TV shows, is that when you mainstream something, you lose a certain credibility. You think that by mainstreaming it, you're going to reach more people, get more people involved, more people doing research, but sometimes the exact opposite happens. And the popularization of the paranormal is exactly what's taking it down. And I agree, and I don't really know how to stop it, except to continue doing what I do and, hope that it sort of works itself out. Because I've seen trends come and go. I remember when UFOs were all the rage, and then the people, fell off the bandwagon and went on and did other things. But the serious people were still going, and they are still going today.
And yet there is no proof of the existence of UFOs.
Absolutely. We, human beings, we are strange creatures.
Oh, I'll say.
We really are. And again, that's why I wanted to write a book about the mind. It's like if we don't understand ourselves, there's no way we're ever going to figure this other stuff out.
Tell me, what can we learn from the ancient philosophers?
They had the same debates that we did. They wanted to understand if the brain and the mind, or the brain and consciousness, and they use these terms interchangeably, were the same thing. They had the same experiences and sensations that made them question whether everything that was happening to them physically was all there is, whether it was being generated from their minds out into the world or projected from out in the world into their minds, or a little bit of both. And so a lot of the arguments of old are still going on today, but maybe with different terminology. Again, we're getting more scientific knowledge. And yet I have to say, Rob, that how do we know that even scientific fact is really the truth? We don't.
No.
We just say, well, let's accept this as fact. But we don't know. The truth could be the exact opposite of everything.
Well, we know for a fact that historians lie to us, archaeologists lie to us, paleontologists lie to us.
Absolutely.
So why would the scientific community be any different?
Well, again, I think you got to kind of use discernment and maybe gut instinct and intuition to look at the material and really seek knowledge in every corner, not just in the mainstream scientific community, and then decide what feels right. And you know what? That's probably the only thing we can do. We may never know the truth, but it's not going to stop us from searching for it.
But how do we know what we're searching for? In order to search for something, we have to know what it is we're searching for. And it seems that no matter who you talk to, nobody knows what the hell they're looking for. They're just looking for something.
Yeah, we're blindlessly walking. I think that well, maybe not everybody, but for me, because I can only speak from personal experience, I'm looking for what resonates. And I love that word, resonance. I'm looking for what my heart and I know this sounds kind of woo-woo, but it's really not. When I get intellectual stuff, often doesn't jive with me on a more vibrational scale, I guess you could say. I'm looking for the truths that resonate enough with me where I can say, okay, I accept that for now. I may not know everything, but that feels right. And that's me. Other people may need that intellectual proof. They may have to have the scientific stamp of approval on it. For me, it's more of a feeling or a sensation or a discernment.
Right. You and I have to take our final break. Please stand by. Marie D. Jones is our special guest. Along with Larry Flaxman, she's written The Deja Vu Enigma, a journey through the anomalies of mind, memory, and time. Her website is www.mariedjones.com. That's www.mariedjones.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X Zone continues from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. 1-800-610-7035, toll-free worldwide. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. Our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Born a Shiite Muslim and taught the Quran in his youth are some of the reasons why President Obama has an affinity for Islam and the Muslim people. His nuclear deal with Iran allows them to obtain over $150 billion to stimulate their country domestically and militarily while pursuing their objective to develop a nuclear bomb.
A groundbreaking article by Nicholas Jennings titled, "Obama Continues to Lie to the American People," exposes many lies Obama has made. It includes lies to the American people on the Obama-Iran nuclear deal and Benghazi. The Jennings article is provided on the internet link www.rel-mar.com/NG2. That's www.rel-mar.com/NG2.
When demystified, shamanism is an ancient science delving into the quantum level of life. Understanding and implementing basic shamanic principles can empower the individual to heal, manifest, and evolve in these rapidly changing times. Path Home Shamanic Art School is a one-of-a-kind Colorado State certified occupational school training and certifying shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also train individuals simply interested in empowering and enriching their lives through shamanism. Path Home's certification classes are in a week-long block format, enabling national and international students to participate. We also provide online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions as well. Discover all you can be. Enter the limitless world of shamanism today. For more information, visit findyourpathhome.com or call 303-775-3431.
Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
Exonation Marie D. Jones is the co-author with Larry Flaxman of The Deja Vu Enigma, a journey through the anomalies of mind, memory, and time. Her website is www.mariedjones.com. Marie, in your book, did you touch on missing time, and if so, what did you come up with?
We did touch on missing time because, interestingly, both Larry and I have had missing time experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And again, are we talking about a memory glitch? Why are we able to have 2-3 hours chunk of time where we are completely blacked out, so to speak? And yet, in my case, I was still able to navigate driving the LA freeways.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry, so there's something going on where the brain is able to shut down in a sense.
Well, I thought when you're driving and you lose time, that's called highway hypnosis, and that's a very common phenomenon.
Absolutely, but what it shows you is how we can go on autopilot in one sense, and yet something in us is still able to function and not get us killed. And a lot of people have missing time experiences, and they claim, that they may have had an abduction experience or something. Larry and I don't have any idea what happened to us during the 2-3 hours, and I never felt the need to find out. But what I thought was very interesting is that when it happened, I stopped at one point on the freeway, and I came to 2 hours later, going in a completely different direction. And the time in between was nothing but black to me. I had no remembrance of passing any kind of landmarks or having somebody honk at me or anything. So again, it just fascinates me that the brain can shut down in a sense, and yet we still are able to operate as human beings.
Tell me, during your research, did you ever come across two people who were in, let's say, the same vehicle who had missing time at the same time?
Absolutely, and most of those cases seem to involve the UFO enigma and the alien abduction theory that people are sometimes taken, quote unquote, together or in groups, and sometimes individually. And that was the only time that we saw that kind of thing, that sort of multiple missing time experiences.
Hey, Marie.
Otherwise, it just seems to be a very individualized experience.
Marie, you and I have got to say so long for now. It's always a great pleasure talking to you. Congratulations on another great book. Give my best to Larry. And,
I will.
And what's your next book going to be about?
The next one's interesting. It's called The Trinity Secret, The Power of Three, and the Code of Creation.
I've got to tell you something. All your books are interesting.
I like to ask questions. Even if I don't come up with answers, I think the fun is in asking the questions.
And you do a great job at that, my friend. Marie, always a great pleasure talking to you. Continued success. Give my best to your dad, and I look forward to the next time you and I meet here in the X Zone.
So do I, Rob. Thank you so much.
Take care, my dear friend. X Zone Nation, Marie D. Jones has been our guest this hour. www.mariedjones.com. She's the author with Larry Flaxman of The Deja Vu Enigma. Once again, www.mariedjones.com. I'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour as the X Zone continues right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name's Rob McConnell. Back at 6.5 minutes past. Speak to you then.